Two ex-heads of state in support of Obi's presidential ambition, Pat Utomi says. So Pat Utomi is telling us here now there are two former heads of state in Nigeria that have signed up to support Peter Obi. What a great breakthrough, actually. All right. The convener of the Big Tent coalition of political parties, social movement, and civil society organizations, Pat Utomi, on Friday said two former heads of state have endorsed the presidential candidate of the Labour Party, Peter Obi. He further stated that the Labour Party has enough structure in place to take over Nigeria ahead of 2023 general elections in the country. Utomi said this in Abuja on Friday during a town hall meeting organized by the Big Tent. The event is part of the activity to seek support for Obi, his running mate, Dati Ahmed, and the Labour Party. All right. He said the Big Tent had worked at developing real structures for Obi, adding that opposition to obedience would be shocked by the result. Utomi, who did not reveal their names, said money alone doesn't win elections. Two former heads of state have said to me they are obedient. A lot of people want to join the Obidient movement without joining the Labour Party to ensure that Obi and Baba Ahmed win to capture our country back from those who have held us down. The Labour Party has better structures than the People's Democratic Party and the All Progressive Congress. When people talk about structures, I kind of laugh because they don't understand the meaning of structure. The structure is a criminal network of people who can fix elections, and we have to stop that. That is not structure. Exactly. Similar to what Baba Ahmed said in Arise TV, that the structures that have been on ground is rubbish. All right. And he referred to structure as proper representation of people in the society, all right, and not all those bullion vans for moving money around to buy election and to buy votes. No. So Pat Utomi continued to say, we at the Big Tent have worked at developing real structure, and they are going to be shocked at what they will see. Many of the Peter Obi support groups have structures on their own that can win this election. At every poll during the election day, we will have 20 people who belong to this structure. So when they get to the polling unit, it won't be business as usual. And when they try to mess things up by doctoring information technology from the Independent National Electoral Commission, they will meet us there because we know they are planning things like that, but they will meet us there with technology. That's great. So what Pat Utomi is saying here, there are two things here. One is that two former military heads of state are obedient. They don't really need to be card-carrying members of Labour Party to be obedient. Obidient right now is a movement, and it's not just a group of persons in social media. It's a movement that is both physical and virtual. It's a large movement that is both local and international. So two past presidents, even though Pat Utomi did not mention their names, I'm sure they must be confidential, because if those names come to the public, another controversy will ensue. But those guys, definitely they will, at their old age, work at the background and provide any support that is needed to make Peter Obi the president of the country. They don't need to come out. I know that Obasanjo must be one of them, even though I'm insinuating, but I think he has shown his body language that is for Peter Obi. There's no way Obasanjo will support Atiku, having known who he is and having worked with him for some time. There's no way Obasanjo will work with Tinubu, having known the kind of person Tinubu is, not too different from what Atiku is. And those are not the kind of people we want to lead Nigeria. All right? So that is the first part of Pat Utomi's statement, that two previous heads of state have approved Peter Obi as president. The second part of it is talking about structure. All right? People say that Labour Party does not have structure. So what he's trying to tell us here is that they have worked extensively to develop a structure that they will use to handle this election come 2023. And apart from the central structure they're putting in place, each local extension also has its own structure. And it will shock people that during election day, in every polling unit, you will have Peter Obi's monitors that will be there to monitor everything. And the good news here is that the Labour Party is aware of what other political parties are trying to do to infiltrate the ICT department of the INEC so that they can cause election at electronic level. I mean, election rigging at electronic level. All right. But what Party Tom is saying here is that they have a system in place to also checkmate that, because they know that people are planning to rig election at the back end of the computers or at the back end of the network to ensure that they doctor numbers right on the computer. But then Pat Tom is saying here that there is a system in place to checkmate that, and it will shock Nigerians what they will see. I love that. That's a good one. They say Peter Obi does not have structure. It's confirmed now that Peter Obi has a structure. Peter Obi's structure is not a structure for bullion van and for vote buying. It is a structure that has human representation to monitor things and to make things work. And then I've got a few comments here. The first person saying Obi can't win, where that person must be daydreaming, right? And as somebody saying, if he wins, you will roast in the fire. Abi, yeah, sure, Obi will win the election, and because the rate at which he's moving is shocking to people. All right, and Pat Tom is still saying to Nigerians here, it will shock opposition parties what they will see about Obi's structure during the election. Now, what have you benefited from your Buhari APC? Insecurity, bad economy, kidnapping, banditry, incompetencies in all the sectors. All these Aboki in Yoruba are major problem of this country. Too tribalistic even when they are oppressed. You see? So, and that's the only benefit we've got from the APC government under Buhari. There's nothing. Actually, life just became worse. Right? More than 2 heads of state supported Atiku before. All right? And he still lost. Well, the case of Atiku and the case of Obi will not be the same. All right? Somebody is suggesting here, Obasanjo and Babangida, shake my head. All right? So the person suspected must be Obasanjo and Babangida that must have done that. Well, it is what it is. Pat Utomi did not mention the names. Pat Utomi obviously did not mention the names. You still don't understand politics. What are the political values of your ex-president? You are just deceiving yourself. All right, so that's what somebody is telling Pat Utomi here, that what political values are those heads of state or the former president? Well, we know that they have a way of making things happen. Right? A dead working corpse can't and never rule this country again. And that is referring to some of the presidential aspirants now that cannot even walk a 10-meter distance without being supported, that cannot stand for 20 minutes without being supported. We know them. We don't want to call their names. Right? We don't want to call their names. Somebody saying, my brother, you are not tired of the way Nigeria is now. Why are we like this as a people? Supporting those who are oppressing us, pressing you is not best. Even if you have personal benefits from them, at least think about the suffering of the masses. Presently, this APC has caused Nigerians. Don't you guys have conscience or just selfish interest only? It is well with Nigeria. Yeah, so people are not tired. People are just waiting to collect small cash, 5,000 naira. Some of them maximum 5,000. All right, and that is all. They will sell their voters card and then mortgage their destiny for the next 8 years. That is what they have been doing, and they're not tired of it. I think a lot of Nigerians are tired this time, and I'm sure things will change. So these are a few comments that we have, and this is what Pat Utomi is saying that 2 previous head of states have adopted Peter Obi and approved him, so they are now obedient. And then secondly, that the structure they have in place to monitor through the election. So let me also have a comment below, and thank you for listening.